Hi, sweet ones, and welcome to this week's episode of Embodied Divinity. Let's settle in with a big, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allow yourself to find that rhythm with your breath, to sink into this moment here and now. We are in the last quarter of 2025, if you can believe it. The world is slowing down. Well, some parts of the world. Seasonally, the world is slowing down. Things are getting cooler and more cozy, and it's really important to listen to the call of the seasons as you move in your own rhythm. What's been coming through for me a lot lately is this need for silence and stillness and to step back from the world of consumerism, to really turn within and find your own root and rhythm again. So much of the world has been caught up in scrolling and social media and hustle and keeping up with everyone else. And even unfortunately, in the world that we live in right now, most of our energy goes towards just surviving. And I think a lot of people go to the scroll or go to trying to dive into things that aren't as healthy for themselves as a way to disassociate and numb out from kind of the horrors of the world. Regardless of your lens on it, there are a lot of heavy energies present, and our bodies and minds and psyches are doing whatever they can to simply feel okay. But what ends up happening is we get caught up in those cycles. And so this week's short but sweet episode is a call back to stillness. I've been really sinking into myself the last month and setting my phone down, not scrolling on social media, not watching TV, and instead picking up a book or a notebook or just sitting outside in silence with my cup of tea, or even doing things with my hands like baking and crocheting and pulling out the coloring books and paint by numbers. And it's been really beautiful. And it's also been a little bit it's stirred up a lot of things because my body was so used to either reaching for my phone or my favorite show, or even just like numbing out to music and taking my brain away from the present moment. And so I'm sharing this with you because there is a recalibration period when you do start to break up from all of those external pulls on your mind and on your spirit and on your energy. You almost go through this like detox. For me, it felt like I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I didn't know what to do with myself. I paced around my house a lot. I went on a lot of walks, and my mind got really loud for a while about all of the things I should be doing. As I shared with you last week, I'm not writing as much and producing as much as a part of this call back to myself. And instead, I'm living in this state of curiosity and wonder and just trying to explore the world through a new lens. And my body and nervous system kind of freaked out for a minute because it's all new. And those old things that we used to reach for weren't there to reach for. And so it took some time and patience and a lot of deep breaths. And even today, it's still not the most comfortable thing because I was very used to sitting down at my computer and writing and creating. And I was very used to grabbing my phone and replying to all the comments on social media or even creating a new post or listing. And I haven't been doing that lately. And so it's this finding a new rhythm, and it's being okay with being uncomfortable, but also being okay with not filling all of your time. I found it really funny for me in particular because last year I did the 12 Days of Christmas, which is this really fun manifestation ritual. And I'll share it with you again when it gets closer to the season, and maybe we can all do it together. But for the 12 Days of Christmas, you write these 12 intentions, and every day you take one out at random and burn it, and that one is for the universe to create for you. But at the end, you're left with one, and that one is your job to align with. My one said, and I have it hanging right on my wall, it says, I manifest and experience a lifestyle of time freedom, allowing me to create, rest, and experience the magic of life with ease and alignment. And I read that the other day and I just chuckled because I definitely have it. I've created it, and it doesn't feel that comfortable or good yet because I'm still creating the capacity to hold that stillness and to hold that nothingness and not fill it with all the busyness of the world and the hustle and the creation and the production. And what it's really allowing me to do is see myself through a new lens, but also be very, very intentional about what I do want to fill this space with. The first week when I was going through that kind of purge or detox, I cleaned out my closet and all my drawers and all my bookshelves and a lot of my computer, and I just like cleared and cleared and cleared. And now I'm going through more of a detailed refinement process, and it's really beautiful because you're left with all this open space and all this open energy, and you get to choose, not by reaching out of desperation or a need to be comfortable again, but out of a desire to live a life in more alignment where you're more rooted in self and less of all of this external world of scrolling and social media and hustle and production. Because if you remember, we talked about a couple months ago, this is one of the quiet but more powerful forms of rebellion. This is where we pull our energy back from all of these external forces, and as we root into self and our oneness, we pull our energy back from all of those oppressive and crumbling systems. And it takes intentionality, and it takes a desire to be in devotion to self, and it takes being okay to be being uncomfortable. But if we can all do this, if we can all come back into ourselves, what ends up happening, and what I've seen in my life and the clients that I work with who are doing this, is a desire to intentionally create community, a desire to intentionally create your own systems of sufficiency, of neighborhood shares and bartering and trading and connection and beautiful cohabitation and all of these systems that are in deeper alignment with the world that we are creating. And so I came on today to share specifically a challenge for you to take a step back. Whatever your vice may be, whether it is doom scrolling or constantly creating or always being busy or always having something in your hand, set it all down. Set social media aside for 30 days. Set watching your favorite show or listening to books aside, and instead pick up a hard copy or pick up a notebook. Anything you can do to create more quiet and stillness for your mind, body, and soul for the next 30 days as we dive into this fall and soon winter season. Allow your body and mind to slow down with the seasons and see what space wants to be created. And keep me updated on your journey. I want to know what it feels like, what you move through, and what comes forward as you start to slow down and create more space in your mind. I think you'll find you have a lot more energy, and it will be up to you to intentionally utilize that energy in a way that is more in alignment with the world that you want to create and the lifestyle that you want to live. So, again, let me know how it goes. Wednesday, I'm releasing a really fun meditation that was inspired by a workshop I held over the weekend. And I've recreated the meditation I used there, which is a meetup of your shadows, and kind of dancing in the dark with your shadows and creating these beautiful connections with different parts of your shadow self and bringing them into the light. So if that sounds like something that feels good for you, check that out on Wednesday. Again, if you heard my announcement last week, I'm making these podcast episodes when Spirit really pulls me forward to speak. And today, that message was clear that we all needed to sink into stillness. So I don't know when I'll be back for another one of these. It could be tomorrow and it could be a couple weeks from now, but the meditations will continue to come out every Wednesday. So until then, breathe deep and plan on miracles. Talk soon.